Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and hi everyone. I hope that you people are doing well. Today our plan is to discuss a very important chapter, an important topic, and the topic is not only important from the perspective of the theoretically it is an important topic, and students see questions from this topic almost all the time in the final exams, either they are in their undergrad or they are in their masters doing MBA or MSc marketing. But this topic is also important from a practical perspective. If you want to start a business or if you already have a business, irrespective of which industry you are in, this topic will definitely help you understand the launching of your products in a proper market, the launching of your product aligned with the needs and the wants of the market. So let's look at the topic of the market. So let's look at the topic that we are going to discuss today, and the topic is new product development. So we are going to discuss new product development. We are going to discuss a couple of things. The main focus would be on the stages of new product development. First, we are going to discuss what is new product, then the definition from different books, from different sources. Then we are going to discuss what actually are the stages that are involved in the development of a new product, because you have to go through certain process to develop a new product and then make it available to the customers. And then we are going to discuss some other important topics, like for example the new product or product life cycle, which starts as soon as you launch the product. So we'll discuss new product or the development of new product. We are also going to discuss the product life cycle. Product life cycle is also commonly called as PLC. That's a very common name used for the product life cycle. Let me choose my favorite color, that is blue. So we are going to use product life cycle as the topic. We are going to discuss that, and we're going to discuss new product development. So new product development and product life cycle are the topics that we are jumping into. Are you ready? Let's start. New product development strategies. So what are the ways to obtain new product? I'm going to give you a definition of the new product in 1 minute. Okay, the first method to develop or to obtain a new product is through acquisition, and the other method is through new product development. What do you mean by acquisition? Acquisition means buying the whole company. So there is a company that is offered to the market for acquisition, for purchase, and you go and you buy that whole company, or you buy a patent, or you buy a license to produce someone else's product. So these are the common examples of new products. How to obtain it? Through acquisition. The other one is through new product development. So how do we do new product development? It is original. So that the thing that you have to keep in mind are their original products, or product improvements, or product modifications, or new brand development from the firm's own research and development. So there are two things explained in this slide. What is new product? What is a new product? A new product is a product that comes in any of these categories. Number one is acquisition, and number two is new product development in the form of original ideas, or it is in the form of product improvement, or product modifications, or new brand development. So these are the key things that you have to keep in mind. Okay, now let me give you the definition of new product from a different perspective, from a different book. So I'm going to add a slide here, and this new slide will give you the definition of new product. So now I'm going to explain new product definition, and this definition is from a different source, and this is very interesting as well. What is a new product? The first thing that you have to keep in mind when you are explaining new product and when you're talking about the new product is that new product is anything that is innovation. So the word innovation is a very important thing. New product is something that is replacement. And the third one, new product is something that is called imitation. We're going to discuss these three quickly. What is new product? A product that is innovation, a product that is replacement, or a product that is an imitation. Imitation in some books is also called Me Too product or copy ideas. Yeah, so a replacement, an innovation, and an imitation. Now the best form of new product that aligns with the definition is called innovation. That is the first one. Then we have replacement, and then we have imitation. Let's look at the first one, which is innovation. This one. What is innovation? Anybody knows the definition of innovation? Innovation in simple words means unique. A product that is unique, a product that has wow factor. Well, all products also can have wow factor, but this is for now the definition of innovation. A product that is unique, a product that has wow factor, a product that the world has not seen before. So new to the world, in some books it is called new to the world. A product that the world has not seen before. That is number one explained. Then number two, this one is replacement. Replacements are all those products which are normally in the categories of upgrades. So a replacement is a product that actually is a new version of the old product. New version of the old product. So there is an existing product and you have launched a new version, and that it replaced the old version, and that becomes a new product. And the example of that would be looking at from our tech perspective, say the phones. So a new phone is launched, for example iPhone 17 is launched, so 16 is now old, or the older versions are replaced by the new iPhone, that is iPhone 16 or 17 or 18, or the new ones are launching and replacing the old ones, so the upgrade ones. It also in some books says that replacements are those products which actually totally throw away the old technology. So a good example of that would be when we used to have landline phones and the technology improved and now we have wireless phones. So the landline phones are replaced by the wireless phones or the mobile phones. And I want you to think of examples and tell me what other replacement new products are there in the market, and I'm going to ask you about it. Then we have the third one, which is the imitation. Imitation is the least favorite category in businesses, in terms of ethics as well, because there are a lot of criticism on this one because you're copying it. So it is a copy product, copying others. When you copy others, because the product is something that you have not produced before, so that's why in some books these two are also called new to the company. These are the products that are new to the company. These are the products that is new to the world. So that is very interesting, that the company, because it is new for the company, so it is also considered as a new product, even though it may not be new to the world. Okay, now I was telling you about the new product development stages, and this is, I think, the most crucial topic. And as you can see, we have a lot of explanation in each one of them. In a lot of books we have only 6 stages. Here you have more than 6 stages. You have, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stages. So if you remember the 8, that is very good. Now I'm taking this information from the book of Armstrong and Kotler, and this information can be found in other books by other writers as well. And of course, with a slight change, you see that the stages are more or less the same, the sequence is the same, but in some books we don't have, for example, concept development. In some books we also don't have other stages. For example, they directly switch into business analysis and product development, and the product development has a different name in different books, which I'm going to tell you. So the first one is idea generation. Idea generation is the first stage, which means that you have to have an idea first to produce a product, and then you have to screen the idea and choose the ideas which are best suitable ideas. Then you have to develop a concept of that. Is, well, I'm fast because in the coming slides we are going to explain each one of them in a lot more detail. Then you have to develop a concept, the concept development, and then test the concept. Then you have to create marketing strategies for the concept that you have developed, and see if it is if those strategies are the one that you're going to use it for your newly produced or newly launched product. Then business analysis. Business analysis is to see if your business has enough resources to produce the idea from the screened idea. Then you have product development. In some books it is also called prototype development. Then you have test marketing. In some books it is also called, this is the fifth stage, market testing. And then we have, again I started from 3, 2, 1. Why did I do that? So okay, let me correct that. This is actually stage number 5. This is 6. This is 7. And this is 8. I don't know what I was thinking, that I restarted the number from 3. Anyway, so we have the first 4 on the top, and then it can be like a straight model like this as well, but since there was a problem when it comes to the space, so that's why the slides are prepared in a way to fit in all the 8 stages in one slide. It can be vertical or horizontal, it doesn't matter, as long as your first stage is idea generation and your last stage is commercialization. Okay, let's get into the first stage. The first stage is called idea generation. Now, idea generation is a very crucial stage for the development of an innovative product. In fact, innovative products are produced if the ideas are properly generated. If the ideas are not properly generated, then you will see that the new product will not be a very good new product. And how? Because the first category of new products, so idea generation, is very much related to the definition I gave you, innovation. If you want your product to be innovative, idea generation is a must. Now, what is idea generation? Idea generation is a systematic search for new product ideas. Systematic search for new product ideas. As you see in the diagram, as you see in the photo, that there are people, they are sitting, they are discussing, they are coming up with the idea of the new product. And a good example of that would be, for example, brainstorming. Brainstorming is the process through which you discuss with your group, with the people, to come up with the idea of a new product. Now, there are 2 types of idea generation. I will write it, idea generation. There are 2 types of idea generation, internal and external. As you can see on the slide as well, here it is internal, there is external. Internal idea generation is when you come up with the idea of the product within your organization. So either all the employees are involved or some selected employees of your organization are involved to come up with the idea, the new product idea. And of course it should be aligned with the industry that you are in. For example, if you are the producer of tech product, the idea should be aligned with tech as well. It cannot be something which is a non-tech idea, even though companies do that in the form of expansion, and of course that is a totally different topic. But your idea generation, internal idea generation, normally comes from employees. That is the best example. Internal idea generation normally come from employees. External idea generation comes from customer in most of the cases, but in some cases it can be public as well. And we'll discuss it, that how organizations and companies use public to give them idea. There are companies like Coke, for example, Pepsi, Lay's, Starbucks, even Pizza Hut. They had campaigns where they ask customers, they ask even public who are not their customers to give them idea, and if their idea is selected, they will get some prize, some token money, some coupons, some features, some reward from the company. So yeah, that is also a very common thing. But of course, when it comes to which one is expensive, which one is less expensive, which one is good, which one is not good, it all comes down to the type of company, the type of industry that you are in. For a company which is more tech related company, or tech savvy company, or complex products or complicated products, then normally companies would go for the internal idea generation. But if the company is just a normal consumer product, for mostly food items for instance, then it's not something bad to involve the public or the customers to give you good ideas of the product based on their needs and wants, based on their tastes. So internal product ideas to encourage continued internal innovation. I'm explaining this one. To encourage continued internal innovation, for example, Google set up an area 120. It's called 120. This is an in-house innovation incubator which selects employees, and very few selected employees, they are full-time working on dream projects. So this is what I was explaining, that a lot of the time, even in internal idea generation, not all the employees are included. Only few employees are included. Only selected employees are included. A lot of the time, these employees are full-time employees working on ideas, and a lot of the time, these employees can be just assigned a project to work on it for a few days or weeks or months and come up with the idea, and then they get back to their normal jobs. So it could be an example. That's what the example of Google is there, and that is internal idea generation. Externally, I told you, it can be customers, it can be public. So idea generation is an important stage. In a lot of books, it says that a good product, if you want to launch a good, unique, amazing new product, you need to have ideas somewhere between 70 to 100. That's a lot of ideas. You have to have roughly 7 to 100 ideas to select one idea out of it to be considered for launching a new product. You can see that's not an easy task. It's a very, very tough job. Coming up with 100 new ideas is not that easy. So internal sources, as I mentioned, internal sources includes company's own formal research. Companies have something which is called R&D, which is very common in companies. The R&D is used normally to come up with ideas, to do research and development, and come up with the unique ideas. External sources can be sources outside the company. As I mentioned, that can be employees, it can be customers, it can be competitors, it can be distributors, suppliers, and even outside firms as well that can give you ideas. You can hire firm to do that. An example of that is given in the photo of a company, the Delfast company, which is innovative in coming up with high-tech software platforms to find and evaluate new electric bike designs prototypes, transforming itself from a parcel delivery service into a manufacturer of cutting-edge electric bicycles. So just an example of a company, that how do they generate ideas. Companies normally generate ideas it can be related to idea generation. For instance, idea generation can be related to one of the topics that we will discuss, or some of you have already discussed, is the topic in IMC, or broadly speaking, promotion. And idea generation is a process in which you involve the external public or the people, and it can be used as a promotional technique to get the ideas from the customers, and then promotional campaigns, we call it promotional campaigns. So you include promotional campaigns and you ask people to give you ideas. Internal and external idea generation. A very, very common method of idea generation nowadays that the technology has exponentially improved is called crowdsourcing. Very, very important. Now, what is crowdsourcing? Crowdsourcing is involving people, or inviting people from different categories. Either they can be customers, they can be employees, they can be independent scientists and researchers, or even large, even public. You can invite them to give you new product ideas. So you remember I gave you an example of brainstorming. So it's an example of that, but it is crowdsourcing, a very common example, a very common term that some of you may have heard of. It is, for example, crowdfunding. Have you heard of that? Crowdfunding, for example. So it's same idea where you get an idea funded by the crowd. You ask the crowd, you ask people to give you. So communities of people is a common term. Communities of people are involved in giving you ideas of the new product. An example, a case study of the Tupperware company is given. It's a very famous American company. It's a food container giant that sponsored the Clever Container Challenge contest. So their container, they have a challenge. Remember I told you a campaign in the previous part. I told you that there are promotional campaigns that companies organize seeking for ideas of integrating Internet of Things, the IoT. The Internet of Things. I refer to my other lecture on IoT, into food containers for future smart kitchen, which means that they are thinking to, this is amazing, they are thinking to connect internet with food containers. And now we have different kitchen accessories which are connected with the internet. For example, the microwaves, the refrigerators, even the stoves, air cons in the homes, the air purifiers, the cameras. All these are called the IoT. Okay, read about IoT or watch my lecture on IoT, Internet of Things. Your things are connected with the internet. So this is an example of how the Tupperware company had a campaign, the Clever Container Challenge. And normally in these kind of campaigns, when the company select the idea from the crowd, that person whose idea is selected is normally rewarded with some token money, some appreciation reward, some membership in the company, or so on and so forth, depending on the company. That was about idea generation. And how many ideas did I told you? You remember that? I told you about 70 to 100 ideas. Now, screening is the process of shortlisting the idea. What is shortlisting? Is selecting the most appropriate ideas. So I told you that in idea generation, the IG, in the idea generation you have to select 70 to 100 ideas. In the idea screening, you screen to, for example, 10 top ideas, for example. So you select the top 10 ideas out of the 100 ideas. because the remaining, say, 90 ideas or the remaining 60 ideas, depending on how many you have generated, are not good enough. So you have to drop poor ideas. Identify good ideas and drop poor ideas. And the framework that is given is a very interesting framework. The framework is called RWW. And these are the 3 questions that you can ask. For example, real winner. Is it real winner and it is worth doing it? For example, is the idea real? Is it just too science fiction idea? Is it too futuristic in a sense that we don't have enough resources to come up with this idea? And then check if the idea can win in the market. So for example, is there any existing competition? Are others producing the same idea or closely related ideas? And if you launch, how are the chances, or what are the chances of winning that idea? And then, is it worth doing it? Worth doing refers to, for example, business. And I told you what is business. For example, is it profitable enough? A lot of the time organizations do come up with new ideas because they want to earn more profit. If you want to do an idea, if you want to come up with a product idea, but the idea is not profitable, then it will not work for your company, because you're a business. Your main objective is to earn money, unless and until your objective is something else. For example, you don't want to make money, you want to be an innovative company, considered as an innovative company, or you're doing it for societal benefits, for example, educational purposes or awareness purposes. Then in that case, even if you don't have the idea that is profitable, but it is still worth doing, then go ahead and you can do it. So in idea screening, you shortlist the ideas and you choose the best ideas and drop the poor ideas. So in simple words, choosing the best, dropping the worst. Oh, nice. So choosing the best and dropping the worst, or drop poor ideas. Okay, now the next stage, and that is the third stage. So we already discussed the 2 stages. The third stage is concept development and testing. In a lot of books, for example, if you check the book of Peter and Donnelly, you will not find this product concept development and testing. Peter and Donnelly directly move from idea screening to the next stage, which is market feasibility and so on, which is the next stage in your book, or in this particularly Armstrong and Kotler's book. So what is product concept development or product testing? That you do not go to produce a physical product once you select an idea. I told you select how many ideas? Top 10 ideas. Now the good thing about this stage, that I like it and I want to, that's why I included in this presentation or in these lectures, is that because take an example of some of the scholars that they've mentioned that from screening directly go to market feasibility, business feasibility, and then prototype development. Now prototype development requires a lot of resources, and if you develop prototype for 10 items, that could be extremely costly for your company, and you can end up losing a lot of your company resources. So one of the things that I like about this concept, that since we are now in an era of highly advanced technology where you can come up with the 3D or hologram or more interactive form of your product that you are planning to launch, or more interactive or realistic, I would say, more realistic form of your product idea. So out of the top 10 ideas, if you have to make prototype means, for example, samples, it could be very expensive. But if you have to make 10 ideas, just concepts, say a diagram, maybe a virtual reality kind of thing, or a hologram, for example, technology can do that for you, and it is not that difficult now. So let's look what the lecture has to offer to us. That product idea, it's an idea for a possible product that the company can see itself offering to the market. Okay, product concept, is a detailed version of the idea stated in a meaningful consumer terms. And I told you it can be in the form of a 3D presentation, for instance. It can be in the form of a simple drawing. It can be in the form of just a software. A product image is the way consumer perceive an actual or potential product. So these three things are there where you test that, okay, I'm launching, you choose one, by the way, out of 10, you choose the first idea, and then you go to the process, you check all these three. If it ticks, all these three ticks, then you select the idea. If suppose product idea is good, product concept is good, but the image is perceived bad, then you drop the idea, move on to the next idea, second idea. Where do you get the second idea from? See, I told you, you selected top 10 ideas. You repeat the same process. If all the texts are done, then you move to the next stage. Otherwise, you cross that idea, move to the third idea, and so on. You do this process until and unless you get a tick on the product idea. Here you get a tick on the concept, you get a positive reply or a positive feedback or a review from the consumer. When you show them the concept, how do they perceive it? The example of a company that has produced now a jet line or a jet aeroplane is given, but before that, concept development. Concept testing refers to testing new product concept with a group of targeted customers. Now, in concept testing and even in market testing, so I'll write it here. Usually it is in market testing, but I will write it here, concept testing, just like we have market testing. In concept testing, it can be internal concept testing, and it can be external concept testing. Internal concept testing, same thing, it is with the employees or within the company. And external is with the public or with the customers. So you create a concept and then you get it tested by the targeted consumers, by the targeted employees, by the targeted public. Concept development and testing, an example of Honda Jet Elite has a range of 1,653 miles with a maximum speed of 486 per hour and can accommodate up to 7 passengers including the crew. The example of this company, Honda Motors Company Limited, and that is how they have created something. And then of course we have simulations. Read about simulations as well, that how simulations are used in order for companies to test their concepts. So that was about concept testing. You select out of the top 10 ideas that you can create concepts and then go through the process. What is the process? The process is you go through product idea testing, then product concept testing, image testing. Okay. Now we move to market strategy development. In some books it is also called market feasibility. Market feasibility. Market feasibility is when you see an idea, suppose the top 10 ideas, you check if these top 10 ideas are feasible. So I told you that out of the 70 to 100 ideas, you selected top 10 ideas. Why? Because you dropped the fake ideas, the two science fiction kind of ideas or the poor ideas, and you selected top 10. Now these top 10 ideas are the ideas that you have to test with the market, not with your business, with the market, outside with the market, that can the market produce these ideas. That is an explanation from another source. Can the market introduce these ideas? Can the market accept these ideas? And you choose the ideas that is acceptable to the market, and then we go and you go to the next stage. Here it says that it's designing an initial marketing strategy. So you create an initial marketing strategy for the ideas out of the 10 ideas based on the new product and the new concept that you have just developed in the previous stage. What is it included? It includes things like, for example, target market description. I hope that you know what is target market description. If you don't know, please refer to my lectures on market segmentation. Refer to my lecture on basis of market segmentation and target market. So you choose an idea and then you create a strategy based on your target market. So if your target market is a particular say particular demographic profile, say gender male, or for example female, or if your target market is, for example, a certain income group like a social class, then you create a complete market description of that and you see if your product fit in that target market description. The next thing is the value proposition plan. Value proposition in simple word is the image of your product that you want the customer to have in their mind. You plan what do you want customer to look at your product, like what do you want your customer to look at when they think of your product. What should the image of your product be in the minds of the customers, or what image should come in the minds of the customers when they think of your product. How do you want them to perceive your product? How do you want them to create an image of your product when they think of your product? So I normally give example of companies like, for example, Starbucks. The moment you think of Starbucks, coffee, premium coffee comes in our mind. Why? Because they have this value proposition that they provide you premium coffee, and that's why the value proposition is very important to clarify to the customers what do you want them to think about when they hear your name, when they see your product, when they see details about your product. So that is value proposition. Then the forecasted sales, the market share, and the marketing mix. The forecasted sales, please pay attention to this one, the forecast, because you are launching. You have not launched the product yet. That's why in the marketing plan, there's a very crucial part. Your sales, your market share. Are there any other competitors in the market? How many competitors are there? How strong these competitors are, and how are you going to handle them? All these things are very important. In the marketing mix, also commonly call it the 4 P's of marketing, should be also clearly defined for the marketing strategy. So that comes in the market strategy development, and this could be your 4th important stage. Then we move on to the next one. I told you that market strategy development was where you take these 10 ideas and see if outside people, like not only your company, any other market, any other person in the market, any other company in the market, if they choose these ideas, would they be able to produce a product out of it, and how would their product look like? Then business analysis, which is the 5th stage, is a stage where you analyze the idea keeping in mind your own business. So this is own business feasibility. Check if the idea is feasible keeping in mind your business resources, so your organizational resources or your company's resources. For example, do you have experts to convert that idea into a physical product? Do you have enough finances? For example, it can be many other things as well, but right now these 2 can work really well. Check if you have enough people, if you have enough finances to come up with the ideas out of the 10 ideas and to make a full-fledged product. Now, business analysis is a review of sales, cost, profit, projection. See, projection, I told you about forecasting for the new product to find whether these factors satisfy the company's objectives. That is the key point here. Your own company's objectives. And it's thundering and it's raining and it's a beautiful, beautiful weather. And I hope that you're enjoying the lecture as well. While I'm recording this lecture, I can hear outside. It's a very, very good weather right now. Okay, back to the lecture. But you can have a cup of coffee with you, and then at the same time, while you're watching and listening to my lecture, you can also sip that cup of coffee. And don't forget to take notes for yourself and for your company and for your understanding, because research shows that when you just listen and watch, you retain certain information, but when you write it down, you retain maximum. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? That was a big thunder. Okay, so retain the information by writing it down. So check your own business resources. Do you have enough money to start that product? Do you have a factory? Do you have the machinery to produce the product, if it is suppose a machine intensive product, or the experts to do that, or the equipments, or generally, broadly speaking, resources? Do you have enough resources or appropriate resources for this idea? If the answer is yes, you can move ahead with the next stage. If no, then you cannot do that. And another key point is you make sure that you select a product that is aligned with your business objective or your company's objectives. Then we move on to the sixth stage, that is called product development. In a lot of the books, it is called prototype development. Prototype development. Prototype development is when your product is now put into physical shape in most of the cases, to ensure that the product idea can be turned into workable market offerings. Now, prototype development makes sure that you understand it's not a full-fledged product, which means that it's not fully functional, which means that some of the functions may not be working because it is something which is what we call is a sample product or a trial version. These are very common terms used for the product development. So it can be a sample product, it can be a trial version. You create a product. Now the concept was more soft copy, if I call it. So if I write it here, concept development was more of a soft copy, if I put it in easy words. But this one, the prototype development or the product development, is hard copy. Just for your understanding, I am putting it in easy words. It's soft copy versus hard copy, and that is how it looks like. You make sure that you create samples, and then the next stage is also a very crucial stage, which is testing the prototype product or the sample product with the real market. This is called test marketing or market testing in some books. Test marketing or market testing. What is test marketing? It is a stage of the new product development in which a product and its proposed marketing, this is an important product, and its proposed marketing program are tested with the realistic market. Is tested with the realistic market, which means that Now you have created a prototype product, and this is the 7th stage. You created a prototype product. If you see the previous one, you created this sample, you created this trial, and you use this trial to test it with the real market. So we are testing with the real customers. There are two types of market testing. Just like we have idea generation and concept testing, we have two type of test marketing. So I'll write it here small, and you already know test marketing can be two types. We have internal and external. Internal is again the same with employees. External is with the public. You test the market based on the real market, and you give them the prototype, you give them the physical product if it is a physical product. If it is a company like a software company, then you give the trial version to the real customers to be. So they are your real customers. They could be your real customers, they can be your potential customers, it can be public as well. So you get it tested and see what is the response of this test marketing. An example of McDonald's is given is to figure out how their plant-based meatless McPlant burger will work, or how best will it fit in the market. McDonald's spent more than 3 years testing the market. You can see it can be a long process. They spend more than 3 years in order to test the new launch of their McDonald's McPlant burger with the real people, with the real customers, in the real market. Every now and then it happens in different parts of the world, in different occasions as well. Companies like McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, Starbucks, they do that all the time. In test marketing, you have to keep in mind that normally we do test marketing in certain situations. Here it is specifically two important situations. When to do test marketing: when you are launching a new product with large investment. So you need to have a lot of backup funds to test. Without backup funds, you cannot test. Or you're uncertain about the product or the marketing program. So the product is a new product. Make sure that it is an important thing. It's an innovative category. So this one is mostly in innovative category. I told you two other categories as well. I hope that you remember them. Test marketing normally you will not do if it is a simple line extension. So you're just extending the existing product line. What is product line? Refer to my lecture on branding. In branding we have brand extension, we have product extension, and so on. So that will be covered there. It's simple line extension. So existing product, for example, you're launching a different color, for instance, of the same variant, or a different taste of the same variant. So that is just simple line extension. For that you probably don't need extensive test marketing. Some companies do that though, but depending on how much funds do you have. If you are doing a copy of the competitor product, what did we call it? We call it imitation. We call it me too. Or if it is a very low cost product and you want to just launch it right away and see how will the market look at it, since it is not very expensive, you can test the water by launching the existing product. Or the management is confident that this is a very good idea, so probably the internal market test has given you positive results, and then you don't need to go to the external market testing. You just directly went to the next stage, and that is commercialization. Okay, the next stage is called commercialization stage. Commercialization stage is also called the launching stage, where you make the product available to the market. So the new product is made available to the market. It seems very easy. It's a tough process. It's a very expensive process as well, and the companies normally spend a lot of resources, a lot of time, a lot of thinking, a lot of planning before they move to this stage, which is commercialization. Okay, in launching you have to keep an idea that at any stage that we have discussed you fail. For example, what should be done? Suppose if the commercialization stage fails, what we do, we move back to the previous stage. For example, in idea generation stage, you generated how many ideas? You remember? 100 ideas. You screened to 10 ideas. You selected one idea, top first, and you moved on to the last stage and it failed somewhere. Suppose it failed on business feasibility. What will you do? You go back to the screen ideas, choose idea number 2 and again start the stage. Then idea number 2, suppose this idea failed. So you choose top 2 idea and then move to the next stage, business feasibility, testing, blah blah blah. All those, if it fails, go back to the previous stage and so on and so forth. So you will continue doing the process for as long as you do not clear each and every stage. Make sure that each and every stage is extremely crisp, clear before you move to the next stage. In commercialization, some of the things that you have to keep in mind is that when to launch the product. So the launching time of the product, when to launch the products, very important. What time? Because a lot of the time companies launch the product at a wrong time. So you have to understand that the best time to be successful in terms of launching your product should be researched thoroughly. You cannot just say that, okay, I will launch a product on Monday 7th of May or 7th of December. No, why? What is the secret behind it? A lot of the companies wait a lot of the time to reach the perfect time to launch the product. And by perfect time, I mean is that suppose if you have a seasonal product targeting, for example, some festive seasons. If, for instance, you are targeting Christmas, you're targeting Eid, you're targeting, for example, Thaipusam in case of Hindus, for example. Or if you're targeting any specific New Year, for example, then you launch it at the right time. When? Time. Very important. Then where to launch it? Normally businesses who are working internationally, they do not launch the product just everywhere. They make sure that where to launch it and when to launch it. A lot of the companies, like take an example of the famous brands like McDonald's, KFC, Starbucks, Toyota, Honda. They have products in different countries and the products slightly look different based on the region as well. So where to launch it? The region or location. Then planned market rollout, that when you exactly want to extensively launch it in the market, what day of the time. So this is just launching in terms of making the customer or the public or the people aware that you're launching this new product, this one. But this one is actually making the product available to the customers. So making the product available to the customers. These are the 8 very important stages of new product development. But it's not yet finished. You have a few more to understand. For example, successful new product development should be customer centric. I have a lecture on that. Please refer to that lecture. It's called customer centric. So the product is customer centric, or we also called it customer centricity. Then it's a team-based product development. Product development can be in the form of either customer centric product development, it can be team-based product development, or it can be systematic product development. Let's look into these and then we'll conclude. Customer centric new product development. Customer centric new product development focuses on finding ways to solve customer problems and create more customer satisfying experiences, which means that you have customers in the center of everything. All your strategies. Customers in the center of all your strategies. If you want to be a successful company, you have to find out a problem that the customers have and you solve that problem, and that's how you create a product which is a winning product, solving people's problem. Even for businesses, even for those who are listening to me and they want to become businesses or entrepreneurs, or they want to start their own ventures, find out a problem in the market and come up with a solution to solve that problem, and you will definitely win the market. There's an example of a sportswear company where they focus a lot on consumers input. So you remember idea generation, idea screening, and market and concept testing, a lot from external sources. So consumer input to develop new products and streamline customer experiences. Companies can do that. I told you have two options, either internal or external. Internal is employees, external is customer. The team-based market development. So that was the customer base. This is the team base. You devise a team of experts. What does it do? It involves various companies' departments working closely together, overlapping steps in the product development, the 8 steps that we have discussed, and the process of saving and increasing products. So experts from your company are selected to work together to develop a new product. Who are these people, these experts? These experts are from different departments. Why different departments? Because we need people who are expert in finance, we need people who are expert in designing, we need people who are expert in marketing, we need people who are expert in logistic and supply chain and so on. So all these people combine together, they discuss the idea, they come up with the idea, and then the process goes on from 1 to 8. So there is team-based development. These are companies' internal people. These are external sources, internal sources. So this one was external most of the time. You involve customers. This one is internal, where you involve employees. And a systematic new product development. So systematic new product development includes innovation management system. For example, you create an innovation-oriented company culture where you involve continuous. So a very good topic came into mind. It is called TQM. Continuous quality management or continuous quality improvement, for example, where the companies when the company has a culture of innovation, so they welcome people to come up with the idea, and normally this will give you a huge repository of ideas, and you need more ideas. I told you that in idea generation you need to have 70 to 100 ideas, and out of the more ideas you have, the better you have a chance to select a good product. New product development in turbulent times, tempted to reduce spendings and may become less competitive. So you have to keep in mind that when it comes to new product development is a very, very exhaustive process. It's a detailed process. It requires a lot of companies' resources. It requires a lot of companies' expertise and dedication, and unfortunately the rate of success is not very good. So you have to make sure to be prepared for failure. That's why you have a lot of ideas, 70 to 100 ideas. If you fail, you get up and you start again and again and again and again, unless and until you come up with a good idea. We have famous companies like Apple, like Microsoft, like Toyota, Honda, you name it. All these big companies, they failed more than a dozen of times before they found that one product that was revolutionary. So I would suggest you, that could be a quick assignment, is that to search for a product that the company the good companies. So search for one good company, one big company, fortune company, and search for their one biggest failure product. So that could be your assignment. All of you are listening. Assignment is what? Search. What happens? Search for one failed product of a famous company. It's a very simple assignment. So do a little research and find out one failed product of famous company. Tell me the name of the company, tell me the name of the product. You can share the link of the product, or better, you take a screenshot and share the screenshot of that product. With that, we come to the end of our session. Thank you so much for listening. Take care of your time. Assalamu alaikum.